Hello viewers, welcome to Kids Auto and Truck Repair. Today we have a 2020 Mercedes Sprinter with a 2.0 liter engine. This Sprinter has a gas engine. The customer complaint on this vehicle is the check engine light is on the dash while the engine is running. The vehicle seems to drive fine. The only issue is the check engine light that's remaining on. Behind the camera we have cameraman Matt. Matt, thanks for being here. The first thing we're gonna do is we're gonna go in the vehicle so we can confirm the customer's complaint. After confirming the customer's complaint, then we're gonna connect the scan tool to the vehicle to see what codes we have. So now, let's go in the vehicle. All right, so now I'm going to start the engine. So as you can hear, the engine is running. Actually, interestingly enough, the check engine light is not on. So cameraman Matt is going to show you the dash. So right there, as you can see, the check engine light is not on the dash. So I'm going to turn off the engine so we can scan the engine computer. Okay, so I'm going to turn off the engine. I'm going to turn the key on. Although the check engine light is not on, let's scan the engine computer to see if we have a pending code in the engine computer. So this is a 2020. Let's auto ID the vehicle. This vehicle has 146,000 miles. Let's do a code scan. Let's scan all the control units on the vehicle. Okay, so we have 3 trouble codes in the engine computer. First code is P1462-64. It says fuel tank, fuel temperature / pressure sensor. Fuel temperature calculation malfunction. There is an implausible signal. This is a pending code. And then the second code is P06DA-00. It says the actuation of the valve of the oil pump in the combustion engine has an electrical fault or open circuit or ignore error. There's a general failure. And then last code is P0512-00. The start enable has a malfunction. There is a general failure. Now, I'm gonna focus on this second code, the P06DA. This code is usually caused by a defective solenoid on the oil pump. And that oil pump, the oil pump is in the oil pan, and there's a solenoid there that usually goes bad. And this is a very common issue on these Mercedes engines, these newer engines. So the solenoid goes bad, or sometimes the harness, there's a little harness in the oil pan that goes bad. So let's scroll down and see what else we have. I'm very familiar with this code, and there isn't a lot of tests we can do for this one. So I'm gonna notify the customer about all these other codes that we have. It looks like the coolant level is low in the coolant reservoir. And then on the generic side of the tool, we have one code, P06DA. Now, the owner of this vehicle told me that there are times the light comes on and the check engine light, sometimes it comes on, sometimes it goes off. Now, this noise annoys me. Okay, you know what? We can go talk about this under the hood. This code, P06DA, it says engine oil pressure control circuit / open. This is very common on this. So on the oil pump, there is a little solenoid, okay, that I believe, I should have read about this code. I need to read more about this code. There's a solenoid there that I believe allows the pump to work properly. I can't really think of, we can look it up, to be honest. Actually, let's look it up. P06DA. Let's go to our service info. There's a solenoid there, and that solenoid usually goes bad, or the harness. So let's look up this code. Let's see. I am familiar with this code, but let's look it up in case some of you have a question. Yeah, so if I remember correctly, the solenoid on the oil pump it actually allows the oil pump to build the proper pressure. So sometimes the solenoid goes bad, or the harness, over time, it gets brittle, and that causes an open in the solenoid circuit. Okay, so code description, let me read about this. It says, some lubrication system use an electronically controlled oil pressure system. The advantage of this system is adequate lubrication is provided while operating more efficiently due to reduced load under certain conditions. So this is an electronically controlled oil pressure system. So that little solenoid there, it kind of works like a VVT solenoid, to be honest. That solenoid over there kind of opens and closes based on engine load and engine oil consumption demands, basically. So if the engine computer wants to pump more oil throughout the engine, I believe it either closes it or opens it. It's either one way or the other. So that solenoid usually goes bad, or the wiring. Now, the thing is, you can't really test that wiring outside because the wiring is it's actually under the engine, inside the oil pan. So we have to remove the oil pan so we can get access to it. It's a very small component, but it's hard to get to, and it's very costly to do. I've done a couple in the past in SUVs and sedans, so it's basically the same concept here. So here's what I'm gonna do. We're going to lift up the vehicle, and then we're gonna remove the oil pan. Once we remove the oil pan, we're gonna get access to that solenoid on the oil pump. We're gonna check it out. We're also gonna check the harness. Usually it's the harness that goes bad, but if we're gonna go under there, we might as well replace the solenoid and the harness. So now, you might say, why are you getting to the conclusion of replacing the solenoid without doing some tests? Guys, I'm using my experience with this one. I've done this. We can remove the solenoid and do a resistance test of the solenoid winding, but yeah, once we get to the harness, you'll see it's gonna be brutal. So I'm gonna lift up the vehicle so we can get access to the oil pan. We got the Sprinter up in the air, so here's the oil pan. We're gonna remove the oil pan to see if we can have access to see if we can see that solenoid that I was talking about. But we're gonna have to remove the entire oil pan. So if you look over here, Matt, this is the wiring harness of the solenoid. So there's a part that's inside the oil pan. So what I would like to do is, we're probably gonna have to remove the motor mount. You see this bolt over here? We're gonna have to undo this motor mount bolt, and then we're gonna jack up the engine all the way up so we can remove the oil pan. If we can get the oil pan out, that would be great. So I'm gonna have Ian drain the oil out of the oil pan, and then we're gonna remove this lower oil pan, and then we'll go from there. So Ian, you up?
We leveled up this design from the inside out to unlock our best ever performance and new capabilities. It's the one you're looking for if you want the most powerful iPhone.
We got the bottom oil pan removed. This over here is the harness of the oil pump solenoid. So usually it's this harness that goes bad. So we need to remove this solenoid and do a resistance test of that. We're gonna replace this wiring harness also. So we're gonna try to remove this oil pan. I don't know if we can. We're gonna remove the mount and jack it up, jack the engine up all the way so we can remove the pan. Hopefully we can remove it. We were able to remove the oil pan. Matt, if you can show everyone the oil pan here. Here's the oil pan. We cleaned it. We were able to take it out. I'm gonna take you under the vehicle so I can show you how we removed it. So this is the bottom metal oil pan. Now, here are the components that we're going to replace. This is the solenoid wiring harness. This is the part number for it. Okay. So this connector sticks up, and then this is the solenoid itself. So this is the component that goes bad. And this component is not expensive. But to get to it, you have to do a lot. It's very labor intense. This is the part number. As you can see, we only got OEM parts. We also got some original equipment silicone here. So now let's go under the vehicle so we can remove the solenoid. So this over here is the oil pump. As you can see, it's driven by this chain over here. And then there's this little solenoid here. This solenoid that controls the performance of the oil pump. So when this solenoid starts to go bad, the oil pump doesn't perform well. We're gonna change this harness. So I'm gonna disconnect. Should I put the light on this side? Is that better? Okay, so we're gonna remove the solenoid first. So what usually happens is this wiring gets brittle. So we're gonna change this little wiring harness. So I'm gonna remove the solenoid first. So the screws that hold the solenoid in place are T20 screws. And then there's another screw up here. So here comes the first screw. So here comes the solenoid. We're gonna slide it out, just like that. Look at it. Nice. So this wiring harness needs to be changed. So this is usually what causes the open circuit, because this wire actually lives in the engine oil constantly. So over time, this wire gets brittle and then it gives up.
Yep.
See that electrical connector?
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I'm gonna disconnect. Now let's get this wiring harness removed. So I'm gonna disconnect the connector that I showed you up here. So I'm gonna use these needle nose pliers. I'm gonna get to this little tab here. I'm gonna press it down and then pull up on the connector. Let me wear some glasses because those plastic pieces can fall and I don't want them to fall in my eyes. Okay, so let me get I'm gonna get a flat screwdriver. So we're gonna change this harness. I don't really care if it breaks. Oof, there.
Oh, I hit you right in the face.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah. I mean, I can just destroy it. Yeah, right there. I'm gonna push this up. There. So usually what happens, let me grab the other piece. I don't know why Mercedes designed this way. So what happens is, since this sits in the oil, this is submerged in the oil all the time. So it gets brittle. You see how? You see how it broke? So it gets brittle and then it creates an open circuit. Yeah, that's your problem. So as you can see, this one is identical to the old one. So I'm gonna get the old one out of the bag. Look at the connector, looks the same. Right, Matt? Okay, so we got that. So now I'm gonna lube this seal. Okay, I'm gonna lube this up so it's gonna go in this way. I'm gonna apply a little bit of boom boom sauce over here on this O-ring. So now let's go install this. So it's gonna go right here. I'm gonna clean the hole. Then we're gonna push it just like that. See that? Nice. Okay, it's not gonna come down. I'm gonna try to push it down. You see that? It's not going anywhere. I'm gonna reconnect this electrical connector. All right, so the harness is replaced. We got a brand new harness. So now let's go get the new solenoid. But before we install the new solenoid, I would like to do a resistance measurement of the new solenoid. We're gonna compare it to the old one. So now let's go to the bench. I would like to take a resistance measurement of the old solenoid, then we're gonna compare it to the new solenoid. So I am on the resistance scale. I'm gonna put my multimeter here. Matt, can you see the screen?
Yep.
If I touch these two, we're gonna have a reading on the multimeter screen. So Yeah, I'm gonna attach my test leads to those 2 pins of the solenoid. So right there, 57.9. So it's going between 57.9, 57.5 ohms on the old one. So now let's check the new one. Let's see what's gonna be the resistance of the new one. Actually, maybe because this one hasn't been charged with oil yet. Maybe oil haven't gone through this, but I don't know. I'm not sure if it's supposed to make noise. I mean, the new one does, so we're...
Chicken Morocco.
I mean, the new one is supposed to be good, right? It's making noise, but the old one is not. So now let's take a resistance measurement. Let's see. Oh, you see that big difference? 12.3. So the resistance on the new one is way lower than the resistance on the old one. What do you think, Matt? You think the old one is bad? Yeah, that's really bad. Yeah, so new one gives us a resistance of 12.5. It's going between 12.3 and 12.5 ohms. And then the old one, let me measure the old one again. Yeah, old one has a resistance of 56.7. Way too high than the new one. Okay, that's good. So now let's take the new one to the vehicle so we can install it. So based on the numbers that we saw on the multi-mirror screen, that once again confirms to me that we made the right call. The old solenoid was bad. As you can see, the new one only has a resistance of 12 ohms, but the old one, the resistance was almost 3 times, 3 times more than the new one. So we made the right call. After we install all these components, this is going to be fixed. So now I'm going to install the solenoid here. So our solenoid is going to go in this way. So what we don't want to do is dropping it. You don't want to drop this thing. Okay, just like that. So this is going to go right here. All right, so now we're going to connect our electrical connector. Just like that. Perfect. So as you can see, we changed the solenoid, we changed the harness, everything is reconnected, we're good to go. My man Robin is gonna install the oil pan off camera. After Robin installs the oil pan, we're gonna put oil in the engine. After we put oil in the engine, I'll bring you guys back up so we can test drive the vehicle. After we test drive the vehicle, this should be good to go. I mean, you guys saw the difference in resistance between the new solenoid and the old solenoid. So we made the right call. This is gonna be fixed after we put everything back together. I'm not gonna show you the lengthy process of removing the oil pan. So after that, we should be good. Now, there's one more thing I wanna point out. You guys might wonder, how did you remove the oil pan? I'm gonna show you. We had to undo the motor mounts, both of them. We jacked the engine all the way up. That gave us enough clearance between the oil pan and the frame over here, this subframe, to slide the oil pan out. Okay, so that's how we were able to remove the oil pan. When you do this, you look at service info, Mercedes wants you to take the engine out. So luckily we were able to remove the oil pan without taking the engine out. That's gonna save the customer a lot of money in terms of labor, because taking the whole engine was gonna be a lot longer and was gonna be a lot more expensive. I mean, we don't mind doing it, but if we don't have to do it, I don't mind saving the customer some money. So we're gonna put everything back together and then I'll bring you guys back up. We are back on this Sprinter. We got the oil pan back together. My man Robin put everything back together. We put oil in the engine. We started the vehicle. All is well. Actually, Robin cleaned the engine bay. It looks really good right now. This vehicle is ready to be delivered to the customer. Before we deliver it, I'm gonna clear the code and then we're gonna take it for a spin. After that, we're gonna wrap up this video and I'm sure we're gonna have another happy customer. Now, before we go on a test drive, I would like to ask cameraman Matt to show you the view of the oil pan and how everything looks under the van. So right there, as you can see, the oil pan is back together. Everything looks clean and neatly put back together. Now I'm gonna show you under the hood. We topped off all the fluids. The engine bay is clean. Yeah, look over there. Look at the engine computer. The engine computer is sitting on top of the intake manifold. Why does Mercedes do this? Why do they keep the engine computers under the hood where there's a lot of heat? I don't know. I guess job security for us. So now let's go on a test drive. The code that we had last time should be in the engine computer. I'm gonna clear it and then we will go on a test drive. Actually, when we first looked up the procedure to do this job, Service Info was recommending removing the engine. That's what I quoted the customer. The customer gave us the go ahead. He said, Dio, go ahead and do it. And then after I looked at everything, I realized that we did not need to remove the engine. So, you know, we lifted the engine up, we undid the motor mount, we removed the oil pan, we fixed the vehicle. After that, I mean, earlier today, I called the customer. I told the customer, hey, Mr. Customer, we were able to remove the oil pan and remove the solenoid on the oil pump. So the engine removal was not required. We're gonna have to give you some money back. The customer was very happy because labor time was a lot higher to remove the engine. But yeah, after we did this, we realized that it only took us lesser time than we quoted him. So we had to give the customer some money back, and he was very excited. He was like, man, I've never had a mechanic call me and tell me that they're gonna give me a refund, that the job took less than they expected. I was like, yeah, it took us lesser time than we expected. So you can have your money back, Mr. Customer.
But your regular shop would have charged the full thing still.
Probably, yeah. But that's not how we do things here, you know? Yeah. I mean, Service Info said remove the engine. But after I looked at it, I was like, come on, we can wiggle this oil pan out. And that's what we did. And we made sure we put everything back together. We torqued everything, made sure everything was tightened correctly. No leaks, nothing, yeah. So it went from, I mean, the initial estimate was like over, I think it was over 20 hours. But after doing that, it was way less than that. So yeah, he was very grateful. He was like, oh, Dio, you're the best. I'm like, well, we do the right thing here. We take care of our customers. It looks like Steve wants to say something. Hey, Steve, do you want to talk to me?
Yes, sir.
Okay.
So this guy was the guy you talked on the phone yesterday. The one who said that he just wanted the motor rebuilt or replaced.
But I didn't know that he was damaged like this. He didn't tell me.
He didn't tell either of us.
Yes, so we can't take it.
Yeah.
Because the thing is, if we sit like this, we're probably gonna find more things,
Yeah.
and it's gonna stay longer here.
Yeah.
If he had sent me pictures or told me in the beginning, you can keep filming this.
Absolutely.
In the beginning, I would have said no.
Yeah.
So tell him, based on the condition, you know, we can't leave it here because if someone comes in and gets something, we're gonna be liable for that.
Yeah.
So we don't wanna, because if it leaves, the hood first cannot close.
Yeah.
I'm not saying something's gonna happen. If
Yeah.
someone comes here and like,
Oh, they need new injectors.
yes, there goes the injectors, and then we're gonna be liable for that.
Yeah.
So for those reasons, we cannot take the vehicle.
Yeah, the air suspension shot.
Yeah.
It's like 15 grand.
So,
There's
yeah.
no bumper on it,
Yeah.
no hood.
So yeah, tell him, sir, we're sorry.
Yeah.
We wish you give us more detail. So that's not our fault.
Okay.
I'm sorry. We can't take it. Guys, we have a car here that someone towed to us. I don't know if we should show it, Matt. It's the whole front end is completely messed up. It looks like the car was in a wreck. The customer called me yesterday, said, oh, I need it to be diagnosed. I thought the car was in good condition, but it showed up on a tow truck. The whole front end is messed up. And I'm like, this car needs to go to a body shop, not to our shop. We're not a body shop. So yeah, I was telling Steve, I mean, you guys heard the conversation. He should tell the customer didn't tell me about that. So we can't take it. If we leave it out there, the whole front end is messed up. What about if something happens to it?
They probably just want to leave it here.
Yeah.
That's what.
Yeah, and yeah, we don't have room for it, and sorry, I mean, I can't help. He's gonna have to send it, but we're gonna have to send it back. I mean, Steve has to send it back. All right, guys, so here are the codes we have. This is the code we had last time, P06DA. So I'm gonna clear all these codes. Let's go back, clear all the codes. What do you think, Matt? You think we should have taken that job? No, there you go. Yeah. I thought you would have said yes. I was gonna be like, are you okay? What's wrong with you? Cameraman Matt. No, we're not taking that. I mean, we're here to fix vehicles. We want to serve everybody. But if you bring us a project that we can't really fix, sorry, we can't do it. So let's scan the computers again. So right there, we have 0 codes in the engine computer now. So this is because we cleared the codes. So let's go for a spin. We don't have to go far on this one. Now, we checked the oil level off camera. Oh my, someone's texting me. We checked the oil level off camera. The oil level is fine. Everything is good. So now let's go on a test drive and see what happens. So no check engine light on, no lights on the dash. We're good. Okay, let's go. So Matt, you can show that car. Look at this car. We have a customer that sent us this vehicle. Look how messed up the front end is. And it looks like this car has been sitting for a long time. You see it? Yeah. I don't know if they just bought it from an auction or something. And
The air suspension's messed up in the front and the back.
and the back, and yeah, so sorry. This has to go to a body shop first. So the vehicle drives well, so far so good. No lights on the dash. These gas spinners are pretty good. All right, so this is good, guys. Before we turned on the camera, we let the vehicle idle for a while. So this is fixed. We're gonna have another happy customer. I don't have to go too far. I gotta get back in the shop. So I'm gonna turn around here. Let's go back to the shop. We're gonna wrap up this video after we get to the shop. This is fixed. What do you think, Matt? You think it's fixed? Yeah? Cameraman Matt with his signature move. You know, Matt, you know there are times where we don't shake the camera. We have some community members here on YouTube that ask for that. They're like, Matt, it's not shaking the camera, why? Let me park this over here. This is fixed. I'm gonna scan it for the last time. Perfect, we are back at the shop. We don't have a light on the dash. Matt, if you can show the dashboard. No lights on, so we're good. I'm gonna turn off the engine. Let me turn the key on. Let's scan this for codes. No codes present. We're good to go. All right, guys, so I'm gonna leave this right over here. This is fixed. We're gonna have another happy customer. We didn't have to remove the engine to fix this. The issue on this one was the solenoid on the oil pump. So that solenoid had too much resistance. And this vehicle has 146,000 miles, 703. So I hope you liked the video. If you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you don't like the video, give it a thumb down. But if you do, tell us why so we can make better videos in the future. If you're a subscriber coming back to watch this, I appreciate you. If you're not a subscriber, subscribe to our YouTube channel. Cameraman Matt, thanks for being behind the camera. See you guys next time.